Africa is one of the continents rich in forest reserves as well as other natural resources. However, over the years, many forest reserves have been reduced to deserts as a result of the misuse and the unfavorable policies by stakeholders. This is the reason the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology started training students in forest resource technology under the College of Agriculture and Renewable Natural Resources.
The ecotourism and forest recreation option focuses on the non-consumptive use of the forest. So we try to help develop the recreational aspect of the forest, and then it involves game watching, all kinds of activity that can be undertaken in the forest without necessarily destroying it. So for us, the cardinal thing is that we want to make sure that people enjoy the natural environment and yet leave it intact so that posterity can still have something. So for us, we are thinking about conservation. At the same time, we also want to make sure that we enjoy the natural resources that we have. That's why we're talking about the non-consumptive use of the forest.
The Department of Forest Resource Technology is into training graduates who are conscious of the environment and as such make rational decisions in all aspects pertaining to its use. One of the key options of this department is land reclamation and rehabilitation, which focuses on how best to revive depleted lands.
Land reclamation and rehabilitation broadly looks at how best we can bring disturbed land back into productive use. Land is fixed and various activities happen on land, which we often call land use. So we look at various land uses, especially mining, agriculture, forestry, industries. All these are land use activities. And because of that, there is always competition for space. So to be able to have land that will be used on a sustained basis for, i.e., the productive activities, we need to bring back those that have been destroyed so that it can be used for the other competing land uses. Reclamation and rehabilitation is a very popular option, and very often we tend to have about 40% of our intake opting for this option. It's largely driven by the fact that there are often jobs that are related to this area. And even quite apart from getting jobs in the public, many people can be self-employed as a result of the training that they obtain within the option.
The wood processing and marketing option teaches how to make sustainable use of wood products, and the ecotourism and forest recreation option, which focuses on the non-consumptive use of the forest.
When we talk about wood processing and marketing, what we normally do is we teach students how to make use of wood products to get small articles so that they will be able to sell. And the idea is to help the students to be able to get their own employment even if they are not employed after school. And wood, we say it's very important because wood is used from cradle to grave. And we are saying this because once somebody is born, the court is normally made up of wood. And as the person grows and starts to write, the slate the person will use is made up of wood. And as the person grows further in life, the person will use pencil, which is still made up of wood. And even the papers we use to write, the papers are also made up of wood. And when the person finally graduates and it's given a certificate, the certificate is made of wood. And the person, if lucky, will definitely get employed. And the money that is paid to the person is also made of wood because it is paper. So wood is needed throughout our life, from the beginning of our life to the end of our lives. And we teach students to make simple items for use from the beginning to the end of life. And then we also help them to appreciate and know how to sell these wood products that they are going to make. And so in a way, they are entrepreneurs. They don't wait for government to employ them, but they are able to employ themselves after school. So that is basically wood processing and marketing.
In terms of employability, you know, for this program, they are doing a composite program. So when you graduate, you're going to get BSc Forest Resources Technology. And so you are not going to be awarded BSc Ecotourism and Forestry Creation. So they can work in any, and for their first year, second year, they do forest resources program. So they can work in forest division, they can work in wildlife division, and our products who have completed, most of them have found work doing either with environmental NGOs or with the Forestry Commission, wildlife or forest division, or with the tourism industry. And of course, you can also set up on your own. You can be within the tourism industry. You know, the ecotourism industry is a very long chain product, either into restaurant, into transport, into tour guiding, into managing resort. So you can set up on your own, or you can partner with other people. So it has huge potential. And for me, it's a way to go instead of trying to destroy our forest resources through galamsey and other things. I will opt for the non-consumptive use of the forest, at least, if not for us, for the sake of posterity.
There is also the social forestry option, which is interested in the interrelationship between the forest and living things.
The research initiatives in this option generally look at soils, water, and then vegetation. So a lot of the research centers on disturbed soils, contaminated soils. Very often, if you take mining, for instance, because of the way by which the minerals are extracted, we tend to get huge amount of heavy metals being deposited into the soil after they have washed away the tailings. The tailings are the waste products. So we try to characterize these soils and look at the extent of heavy metal contamination. And usually there are guidelines from World Health Organization as to the amount of heavy metals that can be tolerated. So we are always into such research. We also look at how such work can also impact on surface water. Remember, water, most mining communities, they use this water for drinking and then other domestic uses. And we realize that because of the way water flows, it's possible that some of the pollution from the mines could be extended into the water bodies. So we also look at water quality assessment to see if the standards meet the quality for drinking and other domestic purpose. We also research into land cover. When I say land cover, the cover generally refers to every fen, i.e. that exists on a land. And then the use refers to how best humans are able to impute their use onto the land. So we look at the dynamics within the land use and land cover to try and see, for instance, if you are looking at forest cover, we want to look at how well these have changed or how forest has changed over the last 10 or 20 years. So we look at forest cover, land cover to be able to see the changes within this area.
The department also has the Tinte Bipo Forest Reserve, which is made up of 99 compartments. The forest reserve serves as a practical field to students in the department.
Social forestry basically deals with theories and concepts regarding the people side of forestry. How to make forest management beneficial to the people, and how to make management the people beneficial to forest management in terms of local people. Over the years, forestry policies have adopted strict policing of resources with less emphasis on participation by the local people. And it has been proven that such approach has not been very successful in protecting our forests. And so recent policies that are in place or being enforced now have stressed on including or partnering with local people to be able to better manage our resources. And that is where social forestry comes in. And so now there is a transition from top-down approach to bottom-down approach. What it means is that forestry is not now people or officers sitting somewhere planning and policing their resources, but rather mechanisms are now being put in place to find out how the local people who live around the resources could be included or partnered in management of the resources. And so social forestry basically, we look at how we can impact concepts and theories on how students or competencies can be built by way of involving people to better, or local people to better manage our forest resources.
This department has helped in boosting the university mainly through our research work. So we disseminate our research through reputable journals. And so when you Google, you see our name, and K University is always attached to it in the ResearchGate or other platforms. And then also K University has a space, and our research findings are found there. Again, we have our students scattered our products found in other places, wherever they go, because they bear the name of K University. They make K University more visible and help promote both the department and K University. My final words is that ecotourism and forestry creation, for me, is a way to go, because we owe posterity something. And if we don't want to live in a healthy environment, we should think about our unborn generation. And ecotourism is the way through which we can make use of the forest and yet at the same time preserve it for posterity. And also I want to call out to industry that we need them. We are in it together. So we seek for more collaboration so that we'll be able to enjoy what we have and also preserve it for posterity.
Graduates from the Department of Forest Resource Technology are highly employable due to their problem-solving skills as well as the usefulness of the program.